If you know this song, then you know the flair of the 1990s. From the most successful GT1 race cars like the Porsche 911 GT1 and the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR to Gordon Murray's ultimate road car, the McLaren F1. Due to the increase in supercar demand in 1990s, we got to see many of these fast machines with their style and personality. The Jaguar XJ220, the Bugatti EB110, the Lotus Elise GT1, Lamborghini Diablo, Ferrari F50, Nissan R390 GT, Pagani C12. The list just goes on. But if you have played Need for Speed 2 SE, you just know what I'm talking about. The obscure, the beautiful, the exotic. Is there a Commendator 112i? Now, if you know me from the start, as in my last video on Most Wanted, I've always prayed that game for giving me a life. Big words to say, but that really gave me a reason to pursue my career as a car guy, a car fanatic, a car maker even. I've been thinking about that. But as it blossomed my love for cars even more, because they're cool as fuck, the game that introduced me to cool cars was the Need for Speed 2 SE. This game of the 90s made my little timid brain back then to explode, as I had always seen one boring Econobox to other Econobox, but this game, even though I played it like 11 years later, became my hero. And that's because of the car selection. One of the most influential cars of all time, McLaren F1, cool as Ferrari F50, a concept Ford named GT90, and then the Jaguar XJ220. All of these cars are remembered and cherished over the years, especially the McLaren, and except the GT90 that was never made into production. But there was a car among these which was quite frankly forgotten, obscured, and literally dead from a financial standpoint. The Isdera Commendator 112i, made by a German car manufacturer Isdera, developed and designed by Eberhard Schultz, and by some help by Mercedes and Porsche, he was able to make this exotic supercar, which actually wasn't just for show. It accelerated from 0 to 100 km per hour in 4 seconds and had a top speed of 341 km per hour or 212 miles per hour for you Americans out there. It had a look that softly sliced through the air with its soft body design language. It's all curvy for better aerodynamics, and the exotic part of the car was that its curving doors and the same curving engine cover as well. And seeing those two opening in synchronization is just so beautiful. Never seen something like this before. And the party piece, only one was ever made in the whole wide world. There is some mismatch, like some people say 2 examples were made, this one and this one, but some say this is the same car with different wheels, but Isdera restored it to original form with Porsche BBS rims, with the same Mercedes M120 V12, which was also present in the CLK GTR and the Pagani Zonda S. But the major reasons for its sole existence was the lack of funding, which came from Japan. But the economic bubble had burst in the 1990s Japan, so Isdera went bust and the production models were never made. But this is where things get a bit rough, to say the least. It was cool, it was fast, it was beautiful, especially from the back. The extended tail for aerodynamics, and it was the most exotic of them all. But would it have made a mark even when it was produced? Would it sell well to turn in profits for the entire project, which was around 4 million euros? And honestly, I don't think so. To make a mark in the supercar industry, you have to stand out. You need to have a spice factor for people to see it and even buy it. Isdera was made to be fast and was even planned on going into Le Mans. It was going to be a race car as well, but the competition was brutal in those areas. Isdera's top speed was respectable, but it was overshadowed by Bugatti EB110 and McLaren F1. Both had 220 miles per hour and 241 miles per hour respectively. And for sure it was beautiful, but not as beautiful as Pagani had. And finally, it becoming a race car, which was an even more brutal area in terms of competition. McLaren F1 GTRs, 911 GT1s, CLK GTRs, cars that had been perfected over years. And here too, I think it would have failed. All these race cars had a carbon fiber monocoque chassis, which was lighter and stiffer than most metals. Isdera had a steel tubular space frame chassis and a fiberglass body, which wasn't ideal for such races with such intense race cars. And then, such as any other obscure supercar manufacturer like Spyker, Gumpert, Marussia, and even Vector, just to name a few, the Isdera was forgotten into obscurity. Look, I won't end this video on a bad note because in reality, I really appreciate Isdera for trying to step into the supercar world. It takes a lot of bravery and courage to enter into this market with a lone supercar and showing it to the world and giving them a chance of watching this beauty. It's unfortunate that the Commendator wasn't put into production because despite the odds, who knows what would have happened. But all in all, it was a proper supercar.